So it's that time of year again. It's Easter 2022, and like this year's birthday event, it takes place in Al Kharid. The Easter Bunny here is in a sticky situation. You see, he needs to deliver his chocolate eggs to adventurers in the desert, but they keep melting in the heat. As we all know, heat and chocolate don't mix very well. He's made the trip to Al Kharid to ask the locals how they deal with food in the desert temperatures. Unfortunately, he's managed to speak to one person before they realized that he wasn't just a person in a bunny costume, and now everyone is scared of him. I would too. I mean, just look at this guy. He asked me to speak to some of the locals and see if anyone has any ideas. He suggests talking to Karim the kebab seller since his specialty is food, so guess that's where I'm off to first. Karim tells me that he's the unfortunate person that the big scary rabbit cornered and started talking to, and he feels bad for running off like a frightened child. I ask him his take on trying to keep chocolate eggs from melting in the desert heat, and he has no clue. Since he hasn't had to worry about the heat melting kebabs, he's never thought about it. He suggests talking with the shanty. The shanty is less helpful than Karim, considering he pays no attention to what food people carry with them going into and out of the desert. His suggestion is to go talk to Ali Morrisane, who seems knowledgeable in just about everything. The reward for this better be worth it with all his damn running around. One thing you need to know about Ali: if you have any kind of money on you, he will sell you useless crap without your knowledge and or permission. Just a heads up. As the true businessman he is, he offers to provide me with information if I help him out first. He has an informant hiding southwest of here who has some sort of report he needs. He asks that I go to this guy and retrieve said report. He offers me a jug of hot sauce to prove that I am who I say I am and that I'm here on Ali's behalf. Not sure how that will work, but here I go. I feel like I've done something like this before recently. Down by the fishing spot, I find a guy hiding in a crate. Not suspicious at all. After trying to deny there is actually someone inside the crate, he finally starts talking to me. I have to prove that Ali sent me, so I show him the jug of hot sauce, which he then sniffs, and he goes, it burns! It's so hot, my nose is on fire. Do I need to get someone? It's lovely. So much heat, such intense warmth, I can't feel my face. So now that he believes who I am, he wants me to get him some super hot kebab from Karim before he gives me the report. Thinking this can't be an extremely great idea based on his reaction to smelling it, I agree anyhow and head on back to see Karim. Even Karim doesn't want anything to do with this hot sauce, but he reluctantly agrees to making the kebab for me. Back at the crate guy, I question why he would want a hot kebab while sitting inside a hot crate, and he says it's not that hot, it's actually quite cool. I question this and he merely states business secrets. Anyway, I squeeze the kebab through the crate for the guy and he begins munching, and of course, has this reaction. And now he's screaming, it really burns! It's so hot, my mouth is lava, my lips are supernova. He's all complaining about it. Do I need to get someone? It's so good, scorching deliciousness, such blazing flavor, I can't feel anything. After he's done, he finally hands me the report. I give Ali the report and he finally gives me some useful information. He states that one of his fellow tradesmen sells chocolate in the form of chalk ice. It's a chocolate shell filled with special ice cream made from camel milk, which keeps the chocolate from melting. Time to give the rabbit the good news. I tell the bunny the great news and he wants to give making camel milk ice cream a try. He hands me an extremely large bucket and sends me off to find a camel to milk. I find Ellie the camel roaming around near Ali and proceed to milk her, and then bring the giant bucket of camel milk back to the bunny. Now, the Easter Bunny asks if I'm able to freeze the milk. I tell him that with my current stats, there's nothing I can do about it. We wouldn't be doing it anyhow, even if we had level 99 magic. He knows of some powerful magicians who hang around the Ferox Enclave, so bet you can't guess where we're headed next. At the Ferox Enclave, we find Phoebe K yapping with Camhurst when we just mosey on in. The bunny asks if there's a magician powerful enough to help us freeze this bucket of camel milk. Phoebe says she'd be willing to help for a price. The bunny offers her a bag of chocolate chips, and that seems to be enough to get her help. Camhurst says, hell no, you're not doing that here. Last time you burnt off some guy's eyebrows. So Phoebe takes us out into the wilderness. Yay! Just as she starts casting her freeze spell, our old friend Please Pet Dogs shows up and tries to PK us, but it's caught up in a spell and, well, dies. Luckily, I moved out of the way in time, but the poor bunny got blasted a bit too, and is now afraid his eyebrows were frozen off. Pretty sure he didn't have any to begin with. Phoebe telegrabs a bag of chocolate chips from the bunny and then tellies out. Then the bunny grabs a bucket of milk and does the same, leaving me all alone. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Time to book it out of here. I make my way back to the bunny to give him a piece of my mind. Tells me he's sorry. He got scared. His next smart move is to try and taste the milk and ends up hurting his teeth. This guy is a smart one, I tell you. Not sure what he was expecting to happen. Next thing he wants me to conjure out of thin air is an ice cream churn. The bunny says there's a big pile of crap behind the tanner's and that I should ask him if there's anything we could use. I ask the tanner if I can go dumpster diving in his pile of shit out back in an effort to put together an ice cream churn. He says sure, and that I should find an old vat that can hold the milk, a wheel from the roller that I could spin to do the mixing, an old wooden pole to attach the wheel to, and some washing line to tie everything together. I say the only thing left would be something to do the actual mixing with. For that, he suggests talking to Zeke, the scimitar guy, to see if he has anything of use. He informs me that the vat is badly stained by various chemicals and that I should also find something to clean it with. You can only imagine who he suggests to talk about that one. Yep, our old pal, Ali Murasane. First stop is Zeke. I ask if there's something I can use as a mixer, and he offers me a set of blunt scimitars that he cannot sell. He said they should be sturdy enough to mix the ice cream. Back at Ali, hopefully for the last time for today, to get some ideas on how to clean the vat. I inquire as to what he may know about cleaning the vat, and he says he can give me a supposed magical cleaning potion he was given from the Squire in Falador. The Squire claims it's powerful enough to clean their armor to a perfect shade of white, and Ali is skeptical because it's just mulled wine mixed with holly. Little does he know, I've seen that stuff in action. In fact, I'm the one who made the stuff to begin with. He's never tried it and refuses to sell his customers faulty products. I convince him to just give it to me, and then off I go. Time to root through the trash for the rest of the stuff I need. I use the cleaning solution on the vat, and surprise, the tanning stains magically vanish. Back to the bunny to tell him of my progress, and he wants me to put everything together because his paws are too big. One excuse after another with this guy. I bash all the parts together into a reasonable looking ice cream churn, and then speak to the bunny again. The bunny approves of the churn, but states that now we have to cool it. How, you may ask? Well, back to the wilderness, of course, but by myself this time. Back at the Enclave, we find the same two people yapping away. I ask Phoebe if she could help freeze the ice cream churn, and she agrees because the chocolate chips are so good. We head back outside the Enclave, and as we are having a little banter about my safety, I notice a pile of loot appears. It looks familiar. The ruined scimitar and all. That poor guy can never hold on to that thing. Phoebe casts the spell again, just in time for our little buddy to show up. Man, if this guy doesn't quit soon, then he has some serious issues. Anyway, back to the bunny I go. I tell him all about my adventures in the wilderness and show him the churn. He tells me that, of course, I will need to do all the work in making the ice cream and instructs me to place the churn on the dirty ground next to him. He hands me the bucket of, now thawed, camel milk to add in and start mixing. I place the churn and add the milk and start operating it. The bunny stops me to add chocolate chips. Once my arms are about ready to fall off, the milk finally turns to ice cream. The bunny takes a taste and loves it. He begins the process of making the eggs, but wants me to find something to keep them cold, and I tell him about the guy in the crate who says it's pretty cool in there, but won't tell me how. He suggests I go back and talk to him again. Back down at the crate guy, who really doesn't want to talk to me, or anyone for that matter. I tell him that he can trust me with his business secrets, not to tell anyone, and he agrees. He tells me that a friend of his gave him some ice coolers that work beautifully, and says that he can part with one because it's cooler inside the crate than he's liking. So he hands me one and to take with me. I bring my newly discovered cooling device back to the bunny, and now he wants me to test the eggs to see what happens. He hands me 2 eggs, one normal one and one with the ice cream inside. He wants me to hang out by the shanty for a few hours to see if they melt. The regular egg, or the control egg, should melt right away, and the ice cream filled one should not. I tell him fine, whatever, I'll see him in a few minutes and head off for the shanty pass. At the shanty pass, I take the eggs out of the cooler and wait. The shanty comes over to question why I'm just standing around holding 2 chocolate eggs like a buffoon, and I explain to him the test that I'm doing. As I'm explaining the science behind the process, the normal egg melts in my hand. Now it's time to see if the ice cream one melts. Now I wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And wait. And finally decide I've waited long enough. The egg is still solid and looking egg-shaped. Time to go back to the bunny and finish this exceptionally long event. I deliver my report to the bunny and then go back and forth on a name for the eggs. After some rather long descriptive sounding names, we decide on the clincher. Easter eggs. Everyone knows this name and the ice cream inside will just be a cool surprise. With that, the final egg melts in my hand, leaving another sticky mess. Why I'm still holding it at this point is the real mystery. He's very happy with the results and plans to begin mass production immediately. He takes the cooler from me, and at long last, the Easter event is complete. Since this is the first time doing an Easter event on this account, I get everything from the previous ones as well. This year, though, I get this lovely hat and a crate ring. Yes, it turns me into a crate and allows me to play around a bit. But anyway, that's it for now. Time to get back to questing. One more episode left until we're all caught up, and the next quest after today just so happens to start right here in Al-Kharid. How convenient. But for now, friends, the show is over. Go in peace.